Have you ever noticed the moment you start trying too hard with a woman, something shifts? You give more, text more, care more, and yet somehow she pulls away. You start asking yourself, what did I do wrong? But the truth is, it's not always about what you did. It's about what you allowed. Men lose power not because they're bad guys, but because they forget who they are when a woman enters the picture. They start bending, chasing, explaining, proving, instead of standing still and letting their presence speak. So today I want to break down 9 things a man should never do with a woman, not from a place of bitterness, but from Stoic self-respect. Because when you understand these, you'll stop trying to control women and start mastering yourself. Let's talk. 1, never chase her energy, match it. Let's be honest. When a man feels something strong for a woman, he starts to chase. Not just her, but the feeling she gives him. He overtexts, overthinks, and overreacts. He reads too deep into her tone, her replies, her timing, and slowly, without realizing it, he shifts from being grounded to being desperate. But here's the thing. Energy doesn't lie. If her messages are short, dry, or distant, you can feel it. Most guys panic when they sense it and try to fix the vibe. They start giving more, doing more, asking more. That's the mistake. Because chasing her energy doesn't pull her closer. It pushes her further away. You teach her that your peace depends on her attention. You show her that her silence controls you. The Stoic way, match her energy. If she's distant, don't mirror her attitude. Mirror her pace. You stay calm, collected, unbothered. You respond with warmth but not weakness. When she pulls back, you stay still. You don't try to fill the silence. You let it breathe. This creates space, and in that space, attraction grows again. When you stop chasing her, you remind her what made her curious about you in the first place. Your emotional independence. Your calm tells her you're not trying to keep her. You're okay if she leaves. That doesn't mean you play games. You don't ghost or act cold on purpose. You simply stop over-investing in someone who's showing less effort than you. A man who can sit in silence without needing constant validation, that's rare, and women can sense it. So next time she gets quiet, don't lose yourself. Don't start over-analyzing her every move. Take a breath, step back, focus on your life, because when you match her energy instead of chasing it, you stop being reactive, and the moment you stop reacting, she starts noticing. That's how calm men make women curious again, not by doing more, but by standing still. 2, never explain yourself too much. You ever notice how some guys talk themselves out of respect? A woman asks one simple question like, "Why didn't you text me last night?" And he goes into a full essay about how his phone died, his friend needed him, he was just about to reply. Bro, stop. When you explain too much, you sound unsure of yourself, even if you're telling the truth. Confidence doesn't need a paragraph. It needs presence. A Stoic man doesn't justify his every move. He knows his reasons, he stands by them, and if someone doesn't understand, that's fine. Let's put it this way. Imagine a man walking through life like a mountain. He's steady, not shaken by every gust of wind. When a woman questions him, he doesn't rush to make her feel better. He just answers directly. "I was busy. I didn't feel like going. I needed some time for myself." Simple, clean, done. When you over-explain, it's like trying to defend your worth, and the moment you do that, you've already lowered it. It's not about being rude or cold, it's about clarity. The man who's always explaining is secretly afraid of losing approval, but the man who can say less and hold eye contact, that's power. Most men talk themselves into weakness. They reveal too much, they justify too often, they seek too much validation. They try to make everyone understand them instead of just being understood by those who matter. Here's something most people don't get. When you stop over-explaining, your words carry more weight because silence makes people listen. So next time you feel that urge to explain yourself, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this to bring clarity or to get approval? If it's approval, don't. The right woman won't need a full speech to see your intentions. She'll feel it. And the wrong woman will twist your words no matter how carefully you explain. So don't waste your breath trying to convince someone who already decided what to think. Keep your calm, say your truth, and move on. That's what a man rooted in self-respect does. 3, never make her the center of your life. When a man starts liking a woman, he often forgets one small truth. She's supposed to be part of his life, not the whole thing. But most guys mess this up. They start rearranging their schedule, their goals, even their identity, just to fit around her. At first, she loves it, feels special. But then something changes. She starts to lose attraction, not because you're too nice, but because you've stopped being the man she was drawn to. The one with a life, a mission, a direction. You see, women don't want to be your purpose. They want to follow a man who already has one. The moment your entire mood depends on her reply or her attention, she stops feeling the polarity. She starts feeling pressure. You can't lead a relationship if you're lost inside it. A Stoic man knows his path, his goals, his habits, his discipline. He can love deeply, but never at the cost of losing himself. Because if you lose yourself to love, that's not love. That's obsession. A woman should add to your peace, not become it. She should inspire your mission, not replace it. And when you stay focused on your life, you automatically become more attractive because purpose gives you energy that no text or compliment ever could. It's simple. Women fall for men who stand for something. So build your body, chase your passion, nurture your craft, and protect your time. Because when you stop making her your everything, she starts wanting to be part of your something. Remember, attention given too easily loses its value. But a man with direction, he doesn't need to beg for love. He attracts it naturally. So never make her your world, brother. Build your own and let her choose to walk in it. 4. Never argue to win. Arguing with a woman rarely ends the way you think it will. You might start off logical, calm, collected, and 10 minutes later, you're frustrated, defensive, and wondering how it even got there. Here's the truth most men don't realize. When emotions rise, logic disappears. You could be right and still lose. Because it's not about winning, it's about energy. When you argue to prove a point, you step out of your frame. You stop leading with peace and start reacting out of ego. And women, whether consciously or not, feel that shift. See, a Stoic man doesn't need to win every debate. He knows that sometimes silence carries more weight than any clever comeback. When she's angry, when she's emotional, when she's throwing words at you just to test your patience, your job isn't to match her energy, it's to ground it. You do that by staying calm, by choosing not to feed chaos with more chaos. It's not weakness, it's strength under control. Because if you lose your temper, she doesn't see your point. She only sees your loss of composure. And once that happens, her respect for you takes a quiet hit. Remember this, no man ever became more attractive by arguing harder, but plenty of men became unforgettable by staying calm when everything around them wasn't. When she's emotional, let her be. Listen if it's worth listening to. Step back if it's not. You don't have to win the moment. You just have to keep your peace. In the long run, peace always wins. 5. Never try to impress her. You know what's funny? The moment a man tries to impress a woman, he stops being impressive. You see it all the time. He starts exaggerating, talking too much, showing off his achievements, his money, his car, his plans, all to get her attention. But women can feel when energy is forced. Real attraction doesn't come from what you show. It comes from what you withhold. The Stoic way isn't about being flashy. It's about being certain. Certainty doesn't need validation. It doesn't need approval. It just is. When you walk into a room quietly confident, when you speak with intention and not noise, she notices. When you listen more than you talk, she feels something she doesn't feel often: safety. Because deep down, women aren't drawn to loud men. They're drawn to grounded ones. The man who doesn't chase her with words, but earns her interest through stillness. You don't have to perform to be valued. You just have to be real. That's the paradox. When you stop trying to impress her, you start standing out because every other man is trying to make her feel something. But you're too focused on being who you are. And the moment she realizes you're not performing, she relaxes around you because your calm gives her permission to drop her own act too. Impressing a woman isn't about showing what you have. It's about showing that you could lose it all and still not lose yourself. 6. Never be too available. There's a fine line between showing interest and losing mystery, and most men cross it without even noticing. They answer every call, reply instantly, cancel plans just to see her, and in doing that, they give away their value, bit by bit. Here's what you have to understand. When your time is too available, it stops being special. It's human nature. What's always there gets taken for granted. When a woman knows she can have your attention anytime she wants, it stops meaning something. A Stoic man knows his energy is limited. He's not cold, but he's intentional. He gives time when it matters, not just because he's afraid to lose her. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to distract. Your focus should always be on your life, your purpose, your peace. When she texts you, you don't need to reply in seconds. When she calls, you don't need to drop everything. Because if you always show up instantly, you're telling her, I have nothing else going on. A woman feels more drawn to a man who moves on his own rhythm, who she can't fully predict. That's not game playing, that's balance. So give her attention, yes, but don't hand it out like it's free, because when you respect your own time, she'll start respecting it too. And when you stop being too available, you become something far more powerful, worth waiting for. 7. Never apologize for existing. We live in a time where men say sorry for everything. Sorry for calling. Sorry for taking your time. Sorry for speaking my mind. But brother, you don't have to apologize for breathing. There's a difference between being polite and being self-erasing. A Stoic man knows when to apologize, but only when he's actually done something wrong. He doesn't use sorry as a safety net to avoid discomfort, because every time you say sorry for existing, you train your mind to feel guilty for being you, and women can sense that guilt. Confidence isn't about arrogance, it's about calm acceptance. It's knowing you're allowed to take up space, to speak your truth, to move how you choose. When you stop apologizing unnecessarily, you start living with more strength. Your words become cleaner, your energy feels firmer. Instead of saying, sorry, I didn't mean to bother you, try saying, I wanted to share something with you. Same message, different energy. You're not asking for permission to exist. You're standing in your truth. And here's the beautiful part. The right women will feel safer with a man like that, because when you don't apologize for yourself, you unconsciously give her permission to stand tall too. So remember, being humble doesn't mean being small, and confidence doesn't mean being loud. It means being comfortable in your own skin without guilt. 8. Never put her on a pedestal. When you treat a woman like she's above you, she starts to believe it. And the moment she believes it, the attraction fades. You think admiration will make her like you more, but too much admiration kills desire, because desire needs equality. When you put her on a pedestal, you become the fan, and women don't fall in love with fans. They fall in love with equals. It's okay to compliment her. It's okay to adore her, but it's not okay to forget that she's human, just like you. She has flaws, fears, insecurities. When you treat her as if she's flawless, you disconnect from reality, and she disconnects from you. A Stoic man respects a woman without idolizing her. He sees her beauty, but doesn't worship it. He appreciates her energy, but doesn't become addicted to it. You lose power the moment you start thinking, she's out of my league. No, she's just a person. And if she's in your life, it means something in you already attracted her. So stop acting like she's gold and you're dust. You're both valuable in different ways. Put her on a pedestal and she'll look down at you. Stand next to her and she'll finally look at you. 9. Never lose emotional control. Every man will be tested. Not once, but repeatedly. And most of those tests won't come from life. They'll come from women. Not because she's cruel, but because she needs to know if your calm is real. When she ignores you, when she withdraws affection, when she challenges your patience, she's watching one thing. Will you stay centered, or will you lose yourself? A Stoic man never lets emotions drive the car. He feels them, yes, but he doesn't let them steer. Because when a man reacts emotionally, he becomes predictable. And once she can predict you, she controls you. But when you stay calm, genuinely calm, she feels it. She might test harder at first, but deep down, that stillness earns her trust. Stoicism doesn't mean being cold. It means being aware. It means understanding that peace isn't found in control. It's found in acceptance. You don't fight her emotions. You don't mirror them. You just let the storm pass while you stand like the mountain. And here's the twist. When you stop chasing emotional control, you naturally gain it, because your calm no longer depends on her behavior, but your awareness. Women respect men who stay composed when most would break, because that's when she realizes your peace isn't for sale. And that's the moment she feels something deeper than attraction. She feels safety. You know, at the end of the day, being a man isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. Most men lose themselves not because women break them, but because they forget who they were before her. They forget the silence, the discipline, the peace that once made them powerful. The truth is, women don't want a man who needs them. They want a man who chooses them from a place of calm strength. So stop chasing, stop proving, stop explaining, start leading quietly, gently, firmly. When you carry yourself with stillness, the right people feel it. You won't have to convince anyone to stay. Your energy will do it for you. Because the real test isn't about getting a woman to love you. It's about loving yourself enough to never beg for respect again. If this message hit you deep, brother, take a second. Breathe, reflect, and ask yourself, which of these 9 mistakes am I still making? Awareness is the first step toward mastery. If this video brought you clarity or peace, do me a favor. Hit that like button so it reaches more men who need it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. And if you're new here, subscribe to Brainify On, where we talk about mindset, psychology, and stoic calm in a chaotic world. And before you go, watch this next video right here. When you go silent, what women secretly think. It connects perfectly with everything we talked about today. Stay grounded, stay quiet, stay dangerous. This is Brainify On, and I'll see you soon.